Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, I wanted to talk about a new paleontological study done on T-Rex that could change the way we view the animal going forward, and even how that could relate back to its incorporation in Jurassic Park. Specifically, I wanted to go over the new scientific paper done by paleontologists like Gregory S. Paul, who was not only integral to the development of the filmmaker's work on the original Jurassic Park book and movie, but also one who has worked extensively on other dinosaurs in the past. This is a brief conversation on the new species being possibly dubbed Tyrannosaurus Queen, King, and Emperor. Now before I go any further, I want to mention to you guys that today's video is sponsored by CuriosityStream, the world's first streaming service addressing our lifelong quest to learn, explore, and understand, offering up thousands of non-fiction titles, documentaries, and exclusive originals from some of the world's best filmmakers. This is the place to find fascinating stories that are entertaining without any of that reality show nonsense. CuriosityStream is the Netflix for nerds, the Hulu for history buffs, and the Disney Plus for the scientist in us all. And at under $20 a year, it's extremely affordable, coming out to about $1.67 per month. CuriosityStream has always been the perfect sponsor for my channel due to their wide selection of dinosaur documentaries, and when it comes to paleontology, which is the subject of today's video, I definitely want to point you guys in the direction of something that can help educate rather than confuse, which ironically is what a lot of people are saying this new study does with T-Rex. CuriosityStream is the entertainment brand for people that want to know more, and it's available on Roku, Android, Xbox, iOS, Chromecast, Amazon, Apple, and several smart TVs as well. New shows come out every week, so whether you want to learn about science, sports, music, technology, nature, or history, you can find it all on CuriosityStream. Just go to curiositystream.com/Clayton for unlimited access to the world's top documentaries and nonfiction series. And just for you guys, use promo code Clayton and you'll save 25% off, which comes out to only $14.99 a year. So click the link below or go to curiositystream.com/Clayton and save 25% off right now. Compared to other streaming services, CuriosityStream is definitely one of the more affordable. So once again, thanks to CuriosityStream for sponsoring today's video. Now, back to Jurassic Park. So this information has gotten a lot of people talking lately about what exactly it can mean for T-Rex, with even other Jurassic Park paleontology consultants like Steve Brusatte weighing in on the subject matter, who by the way has not only worked on Jurassic World Dominion, but actually helped out on the old Jurassic Park Institute from way back in the day. So far, Steve isn't really convinced that this is something the public needs to take seriously, but to break it down to all of you guys simply, the information states the following. Some scientists believe that the differences between certain T-Rex specimens are enough to help reclassify the animal into 3 separate species. This means that some individuals of T-Rex, or Tyrant Lizard King as it's properly known, would be assigned the names Tyrant Lizard Queen and Tyrant Lizard Emperor. Now, T-Rex, as you all know, is the king of the dinosaurs, and we've all called these creatures Tyrannosaurus Rex for over 100 years now. The new classifications are now being considered as the old one, Tyrannosaurus Rex, as well as Tyrannosaurus Regina, which is Queen, and Tyrannosaurus Imperator, which is the Emperor one. I've reached out to some friends of mine who work in paleontology, like Gary Vecchiarelli, who just got back from a dig a few months ago, by the way, and he basically says, yeah, not everyone is on the same page with this classification, and they don't really think it's something that will become accepted as reality in the future. Now look, we Jurassic Park fans aren't exactly new to this, with Dr. Jack Horner all the way back in the 90s asserting that T-Rex was a scavenger instead of a hunter, and even having one of the Tyrannosaurs in the Lost World eat Dr. Robert Burke, who was supposed to represent real-life scientist Robert Backer, who disagreed with Horner about the scavenging. So yeah, it's just another day in paleontology as far as I'm concerned. I will say though that the actual reasons they've described as to why they could possibly split up T-Rex into 3 separate species makes a little bit of sense if you take into account the differences between their teeth and legs, like what the paleontologists are alleging. However, I am not a paleontologist and just believe that the real-world science of these animals should be left to other people who can debate about it elsewhere. When it comes to the Jurassic Park franchise, though, this is where I think things could get really interesting. Because as many of you already know, this film series isn't exactly the most scientifically accurate. If we go back to the original movie, Alan Grant even states that the T-Rex has vision based on movement before seeing a cloned InGen variant on Isla Nublar. Meaning in this movie's universe, the whole eyesight thing is something worked out and supported by paleontologists and not a result of genetic engineering by InGen. There's other stuff, of course, there's like the Velociraptor Anteropus thing, which of course came from Gregory S. Paul as well. We even have them digging up amber in the Dominican Republic, which I've been told there's some Cretaceous era stuff that doesn't really gel well with that. So suffice it to say, one way that I think T-Rex and other animals could actually be made to be a bit more educational and entertaining to audience members would be if the writers incorporated some of this information into their dinosaur designs down the line. Think of an animal like Spinosaurus. This is a creature that's anatomy has been long debated and argued about during the last several decades, but if you were to introduce different species of Spinosaurs into the film canon, or even just say a new clone was made with more scientific accuracy in mind by someone like Biosyn, this is probably the easier route to go, well then you could both expand the film series lore and make a more paleontologically sound individual for a newer movie. And I think people would genuinely welcome that for the most part. Imagine seeing the Jurassic Park 3 version of the Spinosaurus versus something that Biosyn made, which is more of the lumbering aquatic creature, and it just put them together side by side in some shots of the movie. It's a pretty interesting idea, and I think that's actually very Jurassic Park. In relation to T-Rex, we already know that the reason they've been using other giant theropods in the sequels is due to Steven Spielberg feeling like having two T-Rexes in the Lost World canceled their effectiveness out. I recently did a video on that explaining the filmmakers' logic behind that thinking, which was in the Jurassic Park Visual Trilogy Guide. It just came out, and that was some pretty interesting information in my opinion. And look, while I personally don't agree with that idea, even I know I'm a Lost World fanboy, I'd like two T-Rexes in the same movie. I will say that having the geneticist clone a T Imperator or T Regina to go alongside the already established T-Rex would be rather interesting to watch, and a way to explore different designs for the Tyrannosaurus that haven't been made just yet. You could do T-Rex with lips, you could do T-Rex with more keratin around the eyes, but I don't know, it's an interesting idea. Maybe you don't have to do this whole species variation, but just keep that in mind. Personally, I myself am going to need a lot more convincing that this is a reality when it comes to the Tyrant Lizard King, and it's something that I don't really think is 100% sound just yet. It would probably translate to film pretty easy, since Jurassic Park and Jurassic World already do things like the eyesight based on movement stuff, and of course the whole Cretaceous prologue scene adds more complexity to the universe, but until there is a real good solid set of arguments to be made about this research being more fact-based, I'd recommend steering away from that sort of idea and just going on with other dinosaurs in the Jurassic Park movies, like different Triceratops species, for example, or more importantly, Allosaurus, which I think would be really fun. Imagine a new Jurassic World movie offering up a few different allosaur designs, one based on Allosaurus jamadsoni, one based on Allosaurus fragilis, and one on Saurophaganix, or Allosaurus maximus, as some call it. You could even say that one came from InGen, one came from Biosyn, one came from Manticore, or some other company. It's just a fun idea that I think really plays into the whole Jurassic Park world and lore. Either way, I thought the new T-Rex debate would be fun to talk about, and I wanted to see how you guys think this sort of science would play out in a new Jurassic Park movie. Maybe not T-Rex exactly, but what are your thoughts on the movie series exploring different versions of already established animals as far as paleontology goes? They kind of already do that, but it's always been attributed to the genetic engineering of the films and not the paleontology-based facts of the individual DNA they found. Like, we've got tiger-striped raptors in The Lost World, and then we've got like totally different male and female raptors in Jurassic Park 3, which are just because they've been, manipulating the DNA code or what have you. Actually, that was never really addressed, but Jurassic World's raptors are definitely different clones from what we saw in the Jurassic Park trilogy. It's all very interesting. Now, if we could boil that down to actual real-world science, even say like the Giganotosaurus is a different type of Giganotosaurus that could be found in the fossil record, or a missing link. Who knows? This is a lot of stuff that I think could be really fun if you go into the Jurassic Park canon and merge it with real-world paleontology. As far as doing T-Rex, Regina, and Imperator though, I'm not so sure that would be 100% accepted, even though translating it to film would be pretty simple in my opinion. But hey, whatever your own thoughts on all of the subject matter happen to be, I'd love to hear about them. in the comments down below. Now before I go, I'd like to thank all of my game wardens and InGen executives, as well as all of my park workers and InGen hunters as well. You've all helped my channel immensely, and I'm incredibly grateful for all of that support. Now I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video and hope that you enjoyed the content. If you feel like I deserve it, I'd appreciate the like and hope that you all consider subscribing. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.